Hey everybody, Jeff Reinhardt here, LMP and Lancaster Online. It's week 15 of the LL Football Roundtable, sponsored by Auto House of Lancaster. Here we are. There's one team standing in LL League football. It's LS. They're undefeated. Great district championship game last week, beating YO in overtime. This week they go to Altoona, Mansion Park, to take on a very good Thomas Jefferson team in the state semifinals. Check the hair. Here he is. It's the quarterback and the safety guy. Caleb House, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. All right. Go ahead. Go. The hair.
A bunch of the seniors made a bet. Most of the seniors, we had an idea that if we won districts, at first it started out we were going to get highlights, but then we realized the boys lacrosse team does that. So we wanted to be a little different. So we either picked you could bleach it, get a buzz, or bleach and buzz. But I did not want to do the buzz, so I just went with the bleach.
Okay. Very nice. Whatever works for you guys. Congratulations. Has last week even hit you yet? And the amount of things that happened in the YO game, just in the fourth quarter and overtime alone, have you been able to enjoy that at all?
I mean, there's still times where it's kind of like, how did that even happen? But yeah, we've definitely gotten to enjoy it, especially yesterday. Just talking about it all together when we were here watching film and then on the field for a little.
Let's talk TJ. They're pretty good. I think maybe you kind of are aware of them. They're out there. Okay, they're good. It's early in the week, I know, but just studying them a little bit, X and O's, stats, some film. What jumps out to you about TJ?
I mean, we're taking this the same as we would any other game. We want to be a physical team. We want to run the ball, and we know they have a good line and they have good skills there. They're a well-rounded, all-around, really good football team.
I know they have a guy who's going to Pitt, and I know they're a physical team. But you're a physical team. You got Iron Pioneers, baby. Speak to the importance of line play on Friday, because somebody's got to win that battle up front, because you both have skilled kids who can do stuff, but they need line to do it. How important is line play Friday?
I think that's going to decide the game. I think whoever can control the line of scrimmage is going to come out on top. We think we can do it.
We're just going to go out there like every other week, play as a team, play as brothers, and just compete every play and just hopefully come out with the win.
And we are back from Lampeter-Strasburg, where we learned that blondes have more fun, right?
Perfect.
Right? And we're back in the studio for the latest edition of the LL Football Roundtable, brought to you by Auto House of Lancaster. I'm Mike Gross, and I'm hosting. Jason Guarente is to my left, and Jeffrey Reinhardt is to my right. We have one team still dancing, and a couple teams whose season ended, whose excellent seasons ended last week. And of course the team that's still dancing is LS, the Blondes.
Oh, by the way.
We'll get to them in a minute.
Yeah.
But let's wrap up the 5A and 6A district finals, in which Wilson was kind of handled by Harrisburg, and Exeter was kind of handled by Bishop McDevitt.
Yep, I covered the Wilson-Harrisburg game. They're good. Newsflash, they're fast. And they were just faster everywhere.
Yeah.
Up front. Yeah, the Mickens kid who we talked about, Messiah Mickens, defensive end, he's in the backfield immediately. Maddox Gruber's had an awesome year for Wilson. Magician kid, making the reads and the pitches and taking off and finding holes. Every time he looked up, Mickens was in his face. Every time.
And this thing with Mickens is a kid who has been recruited by Division I schools since he was in 8th grade as a running back.
Correct.
But this thing with him as a defensive player is really just new this year, I think.
Scary.
Yep.
He is. I was anxious to see him. I've seen him play running back in the past. He was a legit defensive kid. The game turned here. Wilson got the ball first. High snap on a punt, which set up short field for Harrisburg.
Yeah.
They go down and score. So
yeah.
Doms was poignant but kind of funny after the game, and he said that was kind of the beginning of the end right there. You can't give Harrisburg a short field.
You got to walk a tightrope. Yeah.
And the Cougars did what the Cougars do, and they unleashed speed everywhere, and they won 4 in a row.
They won 4 in a row, which means that they're organized enough and they're getting kids committed, and they're doing a great job there. But man, a ton of athletes,
and a lot of them are back. A lot of the stud kids are juniors and seniors.
Yeah. And they're going to have to deal with Pittsburgh Central Catholic.
Correct.
And then probably St. Joe's
Joe's
Prep in the final. Those two teams have been pretty dominant. I think Pittsburgh Central Catholic, Harrisburg could beat, right?
That should be a good game.
Yeah.
And they
then,
have a couple losses out there.
Yeah.
That should be a competitive, good game.
St. Joe's Prep seems like they found themselves. They weren't quite as monolithic early in the year, but now they are. Anyway, 5A, and Exeter goes down to another familiar powerhouse from the Harrisburg area, Bishop McDevitt. Jason.
Yeah, I was wrong about this one. I thought Exeter would give them a game. It wasn't competitive. It was a mercy rule game. Bishop McDevitt is just a different animal. We talked about that a little bit. People get angry about it. They send emails about it. They recruit. They're a private school. But you have to live in the world as it is, not in the world as you want it to be. And that's the standard. They're number one. They took out Mannheim Central and those great Zach Hahn, Bryson Armold, Aaron Enterline teams for 2 years. And now they took out this Exeter team, which was extraordinary.
Very good.
This is a team that almost scored 600 points and gave up, 120 or so points. I mean, that is a great public school, high school team. And they just couldn't stay competitive with McDevitt. I don't know the solution to that. I don't know how Exeter builds a better mousetrap than they've built, but that's just the reality of where it stands right now in whatever classification
it's multi-classes. That's true. It's multi-classes where that's just the reality of things.
And what's interesting is they moved up from 4A.
They did.
If they stay in 4A, maybe we're having all kinds of different conversations
that was going to be my next comment. This competition formula certainly has impacted McDevitt, but
No doubt.
it just doesn't seem
Because
like
the 4A bracket was so much fun with LS coming out of there, and YO and Twin Valley getting another shot at LS. Jaden Zandier, the 2,000-yard kid for Exeter, he got hurt in the first quarter against McDevitt. So there goes 2,000 yards out of your backfield, and then they have to, go with it on the fly against McDevitt. So that's a tricky test. Harrisburg and McDevitt won district titles this year, guys.
Yeah. School stunner.
Shocker.
Yeah, it's a shocker.
But the LL's putting teams in the big school finals.
You are
Mid-Penn's not. There's no one besides those two powerhouses that's breaking through.
It's
It's been
certainly isn't.
It's been Wilson Township and Cocalico and Exeter that have been making the district finals.
And now LS, which is having a magical year.
Well, let's talk about that. LS in a state semifinal against a familiar power from the western part of the state, Thomas Jefferson. Both teams undefeated.
Yes.
Break it down, right?
TJ's good. Let's not sugarcoat it. They're a very good team. Think Mannheim, think YO, think Harrisburg, think McDevitt. I mean, they're that program out there. They're legit every year. 5 state championships, including 19 and 20.
And their 2 postseason games this year, 63-7 aggregate score.
Yeah, they just beat Clearfield 35-zip last week. Athletes galore. They're known for their line guys. Shep Turk, 6'5", 290.
6'5", 290.
Going to Pitt.
Okay.
So they take a lot of, and so does LS, Iron Pioneers. But over the years, TJ's like, hey, we're going to beat you up front, and we're going to unleash a couple skill guys. They have a 2,000-yard rusher, so they're legit. It's TJ. They're excellent.
If Las Vegas did betting lines on high school sports, LS would probably be the underdog in this game.
Yeah, I would think so.
Correct?
Yes. Can we talk about the play for a second? Let's talk about the play that got
do it, dude. Do it.
I have to talk about this for 30 seconds. You try not to be a prisoner of the moment because you see sports all the time and you don't want whatever you just saw to be the greatest thing you've ever seen. But that might be the best play I've ever seen. Basically, Caleb House is under center. He rolls to his right, goes all the way to the sideline. He doesn't see anyone open. He reverses field. He rolls all the way across the field to the left sideline while his linemen are coming back to pick up blocks and not get a penalty. Then he turns and throws it back to the right sideline to a player, Mason Hostetter, who was kind of covered.
I was just going to say, he was not that open.
Yes.
I mean, if he's running around looking for something perfect, he didn't find it.
No.
But he made the play.
And the throw is about 30 yards in the air.
It was a punt.
It wasn't like some zip it to the guy and he catches it. It was like a Hail Mary type of throw.
Yeah.
And it worked for 18 yards. It wasn't like a 60-yard play. They needed 13. They got 18. They scored. They won in overtime. It saved their season. It won them a district championship, and it gave them a shot at a state title. You add all that together, I can't think of a better play.
No, it was great. And it was fourth down.
And it was fourth down.
It was
Yeah,
fourth
it was
and
fourth
13.
and 13.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's your season. I'm packing up my bag. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
And it was an amazing play.
Well, the fact it was fourth down is really the reason it happened, because you're probably giving up on that play earlier because you don't want to eat a 30-yard loss, right? Yeah. He had to keep it going because there was no hope.
The best moment of that play was Carson Zook.
Yeah.
And he put his hands up so he didn't get called for an illegal block in the back or whatever they could have thrown there. Because a kid was charging up on him and he could have decked him and got a flag. And he was like, nope, go around me, it's okay.
Yep.
And House picked up speed and got away from the guy. It was an amazing play.
So there you go. LS has had an incredible season.
Amazing. They got a shot here. I mean, TJ is probably a favorite, like you said.
Yeah.
But the way LS is going, I don't know. You bet against LS right now?
Yeah, you wonder just how many great defenses TJ's seen. This is an offensive era. Maybe LS can surprise them with their physicality and their speed and those things. Yeah.
The other semifinal in this class is Bonder Prendergast, who I only recently realized had a football team.
Okay.
We know about them from the Catholic League in Philadelphia basketball against Southern Lehigh, which has really had a good season. I mean, I don't know anything about them except the scores, but they've had a great year. So that's the other semifinal in 4A. All right. The LL season was kind of sort of wrapped up the other night in Mount Gretna with awards. Rhines, you were there dining and regaling.
Dining and regaling. A good time always at the banquet, and I always appreciate the invite. All-Stars were handed out. Wasn't really surprised. I think the kids who we thought were going to win stuff won stuff. Outstanding backs of the year and all of that good stuff. So we have all that stuff on Lancaster Online. Coaches of the Year was fun. Dom, Section 1, not a shocker. Sapansky, CV, Section 2, not a shocker. Alan Moyer, Weiser, Section 3, not a shocker. Ridenauer, LS, Section 4, not a shocker.
Yeah, those were no-brainers.
Section 5, Coach of the Year, Mike Choi,
Mike Choi
Valley.
from Beckway Valley.
And he was stunned. He was just so surprised. And they went 5-5, most wins since 2018, and he took the Braves to the playoffs. And I know it was the Eastern Conference.
That was a that was a rare situation where he probably genuinely was surprised, even though it makes some sense for him to have won it. You know?
Yeah, I never
I mean,
thought
how
of
often
that.
is that going to happen? But
Exactly, because we'll say his name, Bruce Harbach. They ran the table and won the section. And I never really thought, well, now who else was there in Section 5? I don't remember. But Choi and the Braves.
Yeah.
Good on those guys. What a year
cool.
for them.
Pretty
what
cool.
a year.
Beckley Valley
it was-
Mania. I'm feeling
Exactly. Good banquet. Everything was wrapped up and put a bow on it. And good stuff.
Okay, so where and when for LS and Thomas Jefferson?
Friday, 1 p.m. at Mansion Park in Altoona. Straight shot, Turnpike, I-99, go right in downtown Altoona.
A straight shot, but an unpleasant shot.
Couple lefts and rights. It's a long trip.
Long
it's 2
shot,
hours plus.
A long shot.
And it's an afternoon start, so set your alarm clock.
Anyway, LS shoots for high stakes.
Oh, yeah.
On Friday, we'll see what happens. We'll talk about it next time. That's it. This has been the LL Football Roundtable brought to you by Auto House of Lancaster. And for Jason and for Jeff and for Mike, we'll see you again soon.